the privilege of introducing Lynne Rosiak. As an expert in the field of personal transformation and professional fulfillment, Lynne blends her successful 25-year corporate experience, her personal life experiences, coupled with her coaching passion to help women rediscover who they are and create the life that they really want. Help me welcome Lynne Rosiak.
Good morning.
Morning.
Today we're going to take a look at and pay attention to how we talk to other people and see if it makes a difference how we speak to people. Now, sometimes when you walk into a room, why is it that you just automatically feel like, gee, I feel so comfortable talking with that person. I just feel at ease. It feels like I've known that person forever. And then the other person you walk and you meet, you go, I don't know about this person. I don't feel so comfortable with them. Well, it isn't a coincidence when you meet people and you build a relationship with them. And we're going to talk about building relationships today. And I want you to pay attention, and I invite you to think about how can you apply this in your situation, in your business, or whoever you work with. And I want you to think about what are the ways that you can transfer this information. So one of the things I'd ask, how many of you want to attract more clients and customers? All right. How many want to build more relationships that are from the heart versus from the head? All right, you're at the right place. So one of the things that I'd like you to think about today is I want you to pay attention to the language that you hear people use. Now I want you to think about, are they using language that is visual? Are they using language that is auditorial? Or are they using language that is kinesthetic? And during the presentation, I invite you to take some notes, and I actually gave you a handout that allows you to kind of walk through with me and write in and fill in some answers. So I'd invite you to take a look at the one that shows some blanks there, because that way you can get the key ideas. And you're probably asking yourself, well, what are the topics you're going to talk about this morning? Well, the things we're going to talk about this morning is what are the preparation steps you should take before you ever go to a networking organization? What are the things you should do during the presentation, or the networking, or the conference, or the meeting, or the social outing? What are the things you should do during? What are some open-ended questions that you could ask people to engage them, to make eye contact, to really come from the heart and connect with these people? I want you to think about the importance of listening. Paying attention to what you hear someone say so that you connect with them. They aren't just words. And I want you to think about ways that you can ask open-ended questions. So we're going to talk about how to ask open-ended questions, but I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to ask you to pay attention to how you do follow-up questions, asking E-word type of questions. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a neat communication exercise that will allow you to find out what your preferred communication style is, because we're going to talk about 3 communication styles today. Are you a visual communicator? Are you an auditory communicator? Are you a kinesthetic communicator? So with that in mind, I'd like you to start with the preparation steps. And the very first one that's on your sheet says, guess what? You need to make it easy for people to learn who you are.
Oops, I don't have that.
And you need to make it easy so they can learn your name. And what can you do? You wear a name badge. Where do you wear your name badge? Which side of your right shoulder? If you don't have your name badge on the right shoulder, I invite you to put it on the right shoulder. Who can tell me? I think there are some awarenesses that are coming forward. They say, but I do the Pledge of Allegiance. I put my hand over my heart. Yes, you do put your hand over your heart, but when people meet you, and let's say the microphone's going with me, and I come over and say, good morning, Valerie, I'm Lynne Rosiak. When we shake hands, we look at the direction our hands are shaking the other person's hand. We read left to right. So we have a need to make it visible on the top right part of our body so it's easy for people to see. So wear a name badge. I invite you, if you don't want to make one and have it made over at Office Depot, and wear one of the name badges that they give you at the organization. There's nothing worse than walking up to a person and I say my name and I don't know who the other person is. So they're not really engaging and saying, "Hi, I'm Betty Jones. I don't know who this person is." So make it easy for someone to know who they are. I'm going to give you a couple other tips. We're going to go through this quickly because I know some of you have other things to do today. But one of the things that I invite you to do is always, ladies, wear outfits with jackets. And if you don't have any pockets in your jackets, then you need to have a pair of slacks or a skirt that has a place to put business cards. Now we're going to talk about how I want you to go beyond business cards, because it isn't about business cards, but people need to know who you are. So you put your business cards in your right pocket so that you can give them out, when you also have in your right pocket a little teeny tiny pen. Now you say, why would I carry a little pen with me? Because when I meet Valerie and I want to remember what she has shared with me and she's told me, on the back of my card, I write today's date, March 14, 2008. Talked with Valerie about, and there's something key that I connected with her and remembered what the conversation was. I don't know how you are, but sometimes I have amnesia. I'm older than you are, I can forget things, but so you don't forget, you want to follow up with this person within 24 to 48 hours. It was nice meeting you. I remember you said you were interested in the creative arts, and there's going to be a festival this weekend at a certain place. I thought you might want to know about it. Nothing to do with your business. When you receive the cards, and let's say Valerie gives me her card and I've written it, I put it in my left pocket. This is where I'm going to take it home and I'm going to immediately think of ways that I want to organize myself. Now this could be a whole class, so I'm not going to go into the details of that, but keep that in mind. So you want to have that handy so that you have that available and you can make some progress with that. The other key thing that I want you to think about is when you meet someone, you want to ask yourself, how can I help this person save time, money, or solve a problem? It's right on that sheet of paper, so I invite you to write that down. How can I help this person save time, money, or solve a problem? If you can do one of those things, maybe they're looking for a child care person for the summer, because school's out and they don't have after-school programs and you need somebody. If you can help them find that and solve a problem for them, you have someone who's going to say, I remember you. You're the person that helped me find that child care service. So keep that in mind. And then when you go to meetings, you don't have to wait for Louise or Debbie or one of the people that's at the organization. Act as a host or hostess. And you come in and say, good morning. Hi, Mary. How are you? I'm Lynne Rosiak. How did you find this meeting? You want to make the person feel comfortable so they understand that they're welcome and they're important and they're needed there at that meeting. There's nothing worse than walking into a room and it's full of people you don't know and you're going, okay. Now, before you leave, these are all preparation steps. Before you leave the house, and if you're not doing this frequently, now Christine is an excellent networker, so she doesn't have to think about this. But if you have not gone out recently to network, before you leave the house, I want you to think of a couple open-ended questions that you're going to ask when you get to this meeting, the conference, a workshop, or something you're going to be doing. And what do you think is the purpose of asking open-ended questions when you get with people that you are meeting at a meeting? This is the all play. So, what do you think? What would be the purpose of asking open-ended questions?
Stimulates conversation.
Okay, stimulates conversation. What happens if you stimulate conversation?
You get to know someone.
You get to know somebody. What if you get to know somebody? So, say it, Kyoko, say it again.
Well, you might end up liking them. But getting to know more about what they do and, you know,
You've made a new
relationship
relationship.
skills.
All right. So Kyoko said you might get to know them, maybe become a friend, or you might even do some business with them. Wouldn't that be a novel idea? So let's take a look at some open-ended questions.